Lulu. So I thought I'd put a little update on the van mechanicals. You know, I mentioned in the previous video that I was having some creaking last weekend when inside the van, even when I was like not walking heavily, but you know, I would just move a certain way towards the back and I'd hear, and at first I thought it was maybe my furniture, but I shook it and the van shook with it. So I'm still good. So I thought, okay, it's underneath. And so I went around and hopped up on the fender and jumped up and bounced up and down. And yeah. So leaf springs, went under and looked, and you know, there's these little pads at the end, in between, at the ends of the leaves, each leaf spring in between. And they looked really flat. So I know that's a sign. And just dirty too, with all the dirt and stuff I do. So I made an appointment, went in, and mechanic was awesome. He did say though that I needed new leaf spring. Oh, because the bushings, so he sprayed the bushings, WD-40. I'm repeating myself if you saw the last video, but so he sprayed the bushings with WD-40 and it stopped the squeaking pretty much. So it's a diagnosis I knew anyway, but so then they said that I can't just replace the bushings in these. You should be able to. That's the old school way, and they're $12 each or something. Oh no, not anymore. Damn Ram ProMaster. You have to buy the whole leaf spring assembly to change a bushing, a tube that a bolt goes through to attach it to the vehicle. So $600 each leaf spring assembly, and you do both at the same time, so both sides. So $1,200 there US, plus I would think probably 2 hours max labor, like an hour. It's nothing. But anyway, so say $250 because they charge about $125 an hour, I think. And so over 2,000 Canadian. And so he said we can just clean them up and you'll get back to Canada because I have 5 weeks still down here. He said, but your shocks are pretty bad. They're rusted, leaking, and but he didn't make it sound like it was so urgent or anything. I could wait to get back to do the work. I should have asked him how much, because it's nothing really in the grand scheme of things. So yesterday morning, so I got here 2 nights ago. Yeah, Thursday. Days run together. So yesterday morning, I decided to get under the van and see, because I had looked at the leaf springs before, so I just was curious what everything looked like clean, and then what the shocks look like. And yeah, I could see, I'll show you, I could see one of the shocks. Yeah, they're rusty, but you know what isn't rusty? That's not in and of itself necessarily a problem. Eventually it is, but one had grease visible at the, at the seal. So I wiped it with my finger, and it was non-gritty grease. Like, it was fresh. It was from overnight, because I drove a lot of dirt to find this spot, so there's no way it wouldn't have had grit and crap all in it. So it was fresh, I think, and that made me decide not to ignore it. I called the mechanic back. He quoted me, and it's going to cost under 500 Canadian to get both shocks done. So it's a no-brainer. I've got an appointment Monday morning. It's Saturday now, and it just took a day to get the part, but it was Friday, and then half day they work Saturday, so Monday morning I go and I get new shocks, and then that will take the load off the leaf springs significantly, because right now the leaf springs are taking up the slack that the shocks aren't absorbing as much as they should. So that's good, because that will help with the leaf spring issue. That'll get me back even better. So I'm gonna stop filming this, go to the back, get underneath it. You don't need to see or hear that process, because it's a lot of grunting. It's a very low clearance vehicle, so there's a lot of ooh, ow. So anyway, I'll spray that and I'll pick it up again when I have eyes on the shock and I can show you. Okay, so here's the worser one, and if I under here, like I just wiped that a minute ago because I was filming and then it went to selfie. I don't know how. I must have hit the button and then so I had to restart. So this is even since I swiped it 45 seconds ago, regardless. So yeah, that's actively leaking. The other one is not seeming to show that, but it's rusty and it may have leaked at some point. And look at, oh, so I just noticed that the accordion part of that one, they're wider spaced than this one. Oh, I'm so glad I'm getting this done. So I've mentioned a few times how low my clearance is. This is, let me see, sorry to give me motion sickness, but this is the ground and this is my clearance. I have to be aware not to go over anything higher than, what's that, 6 inches? The clearance is disgusting. Ooh, okay, there are groans, sorry. So, I love like laying under here and looking at everything. These little, they're called, I can replace those with what's called sumo shocks. That actually, they help with side-to-side sway and whatnot. So, I'm going to replace those. You can do it yourself. You just unscrew it and screw it back in, kind of like a table leg. Seriously, it's got a big screw and you screw it in. Anyway, might do that because it's supposed to make a big difference with the ride. But is my spare tire? Okay, this is not boring to me, but I'm sure it's boring to everybody else. Ciao.